Your side at noon. Focused on you.
St. Louisans have voted, and today we know how they want the city to spend its share of the Rams settlement money. Thanks for being here at noon. I'm Kay Quinn. The city sued the Rams in 2017 and settled for $250 million. City leaders then posted a poll to let people decide what to do with the money. 5 on your side, Sydney Stallworth shows how they voted.
More than 2 years and 12,000 voters later, we finally have a better idea of where some of this Rams settlement money could go. Now, keep in mind, the city of St. Louis has $280 million of settlement money to spend. And we already know $30 million of that is going toward an expansion for the Dome at the America Center. But what is the city going to do with the rest of that money? That's when it opened up the survey for you to vote, and the residents have spoken. Okay, let's take a look at what the number one answer is. It's replacing water mains. Does this surprise you at all? It really shouldn't. Over the past couple of months, we've really struggled with a number of water main breaks across the city. We've been reporting on those, and residents say that that's a priority to get that fixed. All right, the number two option, replacing some designs with the streets, calming down traffic and making them more pedestrian friendly to bring down the number of accidents. 8% of votes here. And then number three, increasing the wages and salaries for city employees. Now, this is something that city officials say is a priority because they want to bring in more skilled workers, people with more experience, but they're having trouble attracting those workers because the wages are just not competitive enough. All right, let's take a look at some of the other answers that you all voted for. Number four, free or subsidized childcare for residents. 7% of the votes went here. We know this is a big priority for St. Louis parents. Also, number 5, 6, 7, and 8, you all want to improve downtown infrastructure, increase some low funds, expansion of the MetroLink, and also rehab water treatment plants. So now we know what St. Louis City residents want to do with this money, but what happens next? So we do know that the Board of Aldermen is going to spend the spring talking about these options, figuring out which ones are feasible, how much it's going to cost, and they'll have some room for public discussion as well. So we'll keep you posted on if there are any updates on the settlement money and how it will be spent, of course, on air and online on KSDK.com. I'm Sydney Stallworth. Back to you.
Thank you, Sydney. Breaking at noon, a federal appeals court panel rules that Donald Trump can face trial on charges he plotted to overturn the results of the 2020 election. 2 hours ago, the court rejected the former president's claims he's immune from prosecution. It means he can be prosecuted for his actions during the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Trump is expected to appeal to either the U.S. Supreme Court or the U.S. Court of Appeals. As of right now, there's no set date for when the trial will begin. Police are looking for the person who shot a teenager in University City. Officers responded to the Heman Park Community Center around 1:30 this morning. They found the 17-year-old victim. His injuries are not considered life-threatening. A 5 on your side photographer saw nearly 40 evidence markers near a creek and 10 more on the ground at the Huntley Ridge Apartments. No other details are being released. A triple shooting in Oakville leaves 2 people dead. St. Louis County Police confirmed 15-year-old Colin Courtright died while being taken to a hospital. Another man died at the scene. The shooting happened in the parking lot of the Black Forest Apartments on Chalet Hill Drive yesterday afternoon. No word on the third victim's condition. Police are still looking for suspects. Police in St. Louis also continue to look for a teenage murder suspect. The 17-year-old escaped from the city's juvenile detention center Saturday night. He's charged with second-degree murder in connection with a homicide that happened in October. Police aren't sharing the team's name because he's a minor. The Illinois Fraternal Order of Police speaking out against a bill being proposed in the General Assembly. A Chicago Democrat has introduced a bill that would limit who police can pull over. The bill says officers would not be able to stop a driver for speeding, improper lane usage, obstructed windshields, expired registration stickers, and failure to wear safety belts. The police union says the law will, quote, only benefit lawbreakers, and common sense must have taken a vacation when this bill was drafted. The bill currently has no co-sponsors.
And turning our attention to the weather. Boy, this morning turned out to be the coldest morning of the week, and we knew that would happen. We dropped down into the 20s, even 29 in St. Louis, but a couple of spots about 24 degrees and Farmington, and about 23 in Rolla. So some very chilly temperatures, but we get warmer for overnight lows and high temperatures over the next couple of days. You can see it's all sunshine out there right now, from Highland to Cuba to Weldon Spring to Hillsboro. Things are looking great. And in downtown St. Louis, from Market Street down to the Arch, it's already 49 degrees. North-northwest wind at 5 miles an hour. Humidity is 54%, and it is all sunshine today. Back in the mid-50s in St. Louis. Northeast wind at about 5 miles an hour, so very light wind out there. And as we take a look at what's happening, high pressure is what's keeping us so nice. Once it moves to the east, we get even warmer. I'll outline how warm and any rain chances coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes, Kay.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Jim. The country music world is mourning a great loss. Singer Toby Keith has passed away at the age of 62 after battling stomach cancer. NBC's Ann Thompson looks back on his career.
In the country music world mourning one of its brightest stars.
Ain't as good as I once was.
Toby Keith passing away Monday night at the age of 62 after a battle with stomach cancer. A statement posted on his Instagram page saying the singer fought his fight with grace and courage.
I should have been a cowboy.
Keith, a former oil derrick worker from Oklahoma, first topped the country charts in the 1990s with hits like Should Have Been a Cowboy and How Do You Like Me Now?
How do you like me now?
Later, he got the world's attention with his smash, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
I brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
Keith telling Today in 2019 about the impact of performing his patriotic songs on USO tours.
Every one of them is important and made so many friends.
And he continued with hit after hit, getting a new audience with Red Solo Cup in 2011.
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up, let's have a party.
And performing at former President Trump's inauguration. An unstoppable force in country music, Keith has over 5,000 songs in his catalog, 42 top 10 country hits, and has sold more than 40 million albums. He stopped by today,
Made in America.
speaking about the legacy he wants in 2010.
The longevity is the last goal I have, just staying around. I really admire Willie and Merle and those guys that have been around for 4 or 5 decades.
In the summer of 2022, Keith shocked many fans by revealing his stomach cancer diagnosis, writing, "I've spent the last 6 months receiving chemo, radiation, and surgery. So far, so good." Speaking out about his battle as recently as this year.
This is a roller coaster, and it takes a little while to get your brain wrapped around it. You can't let it define, your future.
But he continued to perform, including at the People's Choice Awards, where he was honored in September.
Don't let the old man in.
And accepted the Country Icon Award to a standing ovation.
Keith wrote or co-wrote most of his material. More than 60 of his singles reached the country chart, including 20 #1 hits. In 2015, he was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Still ahead, more shocking video from Japan showing the impact of that New Year's Day earthquake. See just how much the ground has shifted. And it looks like the St. Louis Blues will play in one of the NHL's marquee events.